What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Hope you're all doing well today, and I'm very excited for this track. I've been kind of lurking about in Discord for a while, seeing progress pictures of this track as it's developed, and this is a track made by Callum, and it is the 2019 layout of the MXGP of Belgium at Lommel. And Lommel is just, it's such an iconic track, I think we can all agree, and it's one of them tracks that used to get so much love back in kind of like the beta 16 and prior to that days. But ever since the drop of beta 17 with the sand traction and so on, it's just never been the same. So I'm doing this track today, however I do need to mention this. I am using the beta 18 tyres that I have been given, that I was using to test out the beta 18 OEM, which was in my previous video. If you've not watched that, it's comparing the beta 17 YZ125 to the beta 18 YZ125, and obviously there's going to be updated tyres when the OEM's released and so on. So to do this track as much justice as possible, I have kept them tyres on, and it is purely a testing thing. Don't worry, there's no way of me being able to join online with these tyres at all. It'll give me a mismatch. So no scumbagging, I'm afraid. But I thought to do this track as much justice as I think it deserves, I've got on the higher grip tyres, and we're just going to see how it goes. Apparently there's been 100 hours of work gone into this, which I think is very impressive. First of all, my attention span could never do that. I remember back when I made my 2 or 3 MX Simulator tracks, I basically just banged them out in 1 or 2 days max. When I start something, I hate stopping doing it. I just kind of want to see it through, which it can't really be the case if you're working on something for 100 hours straight, unless you really don't need sleep. The amount of Monster Energies or Red Bulls that you'll be chugging during that period, I have no idea. But for example, I got a puzzle over Christmas, and obviously I have stopped it now. To be fair, it's a 1,000-piece one, so it takes a little bit of time. But the first day that I started doing it, I was just going at it for hours, like going into the early hours of the morning until about 3 AM. I just didn't want to stop, didn't want to put it down. Then I realised, oh, actually, I'm kind of only just got to halfway. Maybe I should stop and go to bed, or I'll be awake the entire night. Oh no, I like finishing things I start. But this track, first of all, I think it looks very pretty. I like the textures. I like the ground textures. I think they worked really well. So far, it doesn't seem to be hiding anything. I know there can be quite a tendency, depending on what textures people use, where, especially on rough tracks, for example, where some of the bumps, they kind of hide in the shading. You can't see them too well. Some of the ruts maybe don't pop out as much as you'd like them to. Don't seem to be any issues here at all. So far, so good. I really like that the track isn't uniform, if that makes sense. I think on a lot of sand tracks, people can get a tendency just to make one massive roller and make it span the entire width of the track, and that's it. Whereas we all know when it comes to sand tracks IRL, that's never the case. They're so uneven. There's random super steep bumps, and then maybe if you go a foot to the side of it, it's completely flat. Obviously, it's always changing throughout the day, which we can't really replicate on bikes, but we can try and get close to it. And so far, so good. I'm guessing the tyres are helping me out tremendously. The thing with these tyres, by the way, I just want to say, is I feel like in terms of straight line grip or grip in the centre of the tyre, it doesn't feel much different. Where I notice it is on the sides of the tyre. When you're leant over in the corner, the bike just seems a lot more planted in the sand. Whereas I feel like previously it's so easy just to do a 180 in the sand, it's unreal. And the bike itself, the best way of explaining it with these tyres is you feel like you are in the sand rather than on top of it ice skating. Now, I know ideally when you're riding in real life on sand, you kind of want to be as light as possible, skimming across the top rather than getting bogged down. But in game, especially on the standard beta 17 tyres, I feel like you're on top of it absolutely fine. You never feel like you're fully connected to the ground, but you're constantly spinning. Even in like 5th gear on a straight, you feel like you're never ever making any forwards progress. Whereas now I feel like I'm in the sand and I can carry my momentum going. As long as I'm smooth in corners and keep my corner speed up, I can flow from one corner to the other, and it's really nice. So regardless of how the actual beta 18 bikes feel upon release, whenever that may be, I'm very excited just to use these new tyres full time. They feel amazing, and I don't know if I should feel scumbaggy for using them or not, but I've seen how much work Callum's put into this and been keeping up with the progress pictures as time's been going on, and I've been really excited to want to cover it because I've been needing a new sand track. Now we got Valhalla recently, which is absolutely fine. That track is all well and good in its own right, but it's a little bit more on the, I wouldn't say it's easy because it's not. There's a lot of blind jumps. It's more of a fantasy track. Obviously, it is a fantasy track. He's made it from scratch by himself, but I do like the little bit more realism every now and then. So having this track in here, which I'll say I think he's done a pretty damn good job in terms of replicating Lommel. Although to be fair, it has been a few years since I've watched any GPs at Lommel, so cut me a little bit of slack. But it's good. It looks good. It feels good. It flows good. I'm not sure if I'm getting lucky, but I seem to be almost kind of doubling my way around the track, getting a nice little rhythm here and there. I'm not sure if I'd want to use anything less than a 450, if I'm being completely honest. Some of the sections do seem to be a little bit of a stretch. I imagine a 250 you could probably get away with. A 125, you're probably pushing your luck. You might be struggling. One thing that so I saw that apparently he's going to be updating the timing gates. Apparently the timing gates are very strict right now, and people are getting cuts for doing the bare minimum wrong. However, one thing I'm a little bit nervous about is, as you can see, on each side of the track, there's not really anything from stopping you from being a scumbag and trying to lowline things. Now, I'd love to see some bales dotted around here and there, even if it's not true to Lommel. I can't remember off the top of my head if Lommel has bales dotted around the edge of it. Obviously, we are in a video game, so you need to take some extra measures here and there to make it work properly. I would love to see some bales dotted around to stop people low-lining corners or straights. Alternatively, if hay bales aren't the move, if anybody has played Sipu yet or seen me play Sipu, I commented on around the edges of the track, the track creator added like super square edge bumps here and there. So if you are trying to lowline things, you'll clip these bumps and you can't survive them. Like, you will get sent straight over the bars, or at least into the back of an ambulance. Something like that I think would be a really nice addition to this track if it gets updated in the future. Because let's be honest, like, where is the limit here? How far on the left can I lowline that? That is the issue. I did see when some of the progress pictures were being posted, I saw a couple of people mentioning that the track looks really narrow. I would disagree with that. I think the track, in terms of width, is really nice. Let's be honest, other than like the first corner, the track really only needs to be wide enough for two people. I mean, if you're trying to go three wide anywhere, someone's going to make a pass eventually, or kind of muscle you out for position. I mean, this bit here is really wide. Like that corner's wider than some of the other bits. This whole straight's actually really wide, come to think of it. And I've got no issue with it. It seems very nice. The rhythms are very smooth as well. I feel like I've taken the same line every single lap so far, but it's hard when I get into a rhythm on sand tracks. I feel like I keep falling into that same trap. One thing that I'm very excited for, which is another reason why I've been using these tyres, to be fair. Let me just rewind a little bit actually. So back when I first really started playing this game, I remember watching, or sitting in Discord watching Chicken and Reese just kind of sharing their screens back and forth to each other, just constantly beating each other's Lommel laps on the 2013, the old Lommel. And then ever since Beta 17 came round and we lost that traction, it's never really been the same since. Like, it used to be this amazing track that got all of this love, and there was a bunch of races held on it, and that track was like, if you went fast around Lommel, you were the guy. You know, you was doing pretty damn good. I remember grinding away as well when I first got the game, trying to get good lap times around there, and it's just not the case anymore. So what I'm hoping is, in combination of this track's release, once the Beta 18 OEMs and obviously the tyres that come with the OEMs all fully released for everybody, I'm hoping that'll be the case again. I'd love to see some of the people that have left the game in like the last year or so because of Beta 17. I'd love to see them come back. I mean, I know Hurls disappeared at first when Beta 17 first dropped, and could kind of tickle your throttle in 4th gear and still do a 360 on the 450. And then we got the updated tyres, and he's come back and been absolutely dominating everybody. Reese has been gone for a very long time. I'm pretty sure he just chills playing RuneScape all the time nowadays. Maybe a little bit of sim thrown in there. I'd love to see him come back because he does love a good old sand track too. And I did message him actually whilst I was testing out the Beta 18 125, and I was like, Reese, you're going to absolutely love these new tyres on sand. It feels so nice, and you can see I'm just flying my way around the track nicely. I'm not really getting caught up anywhere. I'm not really losing a whole bunch of momentum. The only places I am is if I bloody ace a double like there, which is a bit annoying. I don't know if I'm doing the line selection much justice. I feel like the lines that I'm taking are pretty damn solid, but no me, I'll finish recording this, hop onto YouTube, see someone's fast lap and be like, oh, I'm basically going in the wrong line in every single corner. Maybe I should change that. Like another place here, I reckon you could probably scumbag and super low line there on the inside if you manage to get over there from the corner. And there's just there's a few weird and wonderful bits. Is that the first corner here? That is a very... Oh, hang on. I need to go experiment here. Let's go over here. Let's have a look at this start straight. That looks like a very difficult first corner to get into, especially if you've got 40 people all going in at once. Let's whip around here. Oh, the start is a little bit on the wonky side. Maybe that's something to be addressed in an update as well. Oh. There we go. Right, on the power. Very rough. Let's try and get on the binders coming into here. Oh, it's not too bad if you have the inside. I'm not sure if everyone will be respectful enough to get on the brakes early and not centre punch everyone into there, but that's fine. It's not the end of the world. Starts on this game, you can only do so much for anyway, can't you? Let's be honest. You have to almost get lucky. Just have the Lord gazing down upon you and hope that you don't get ejected into the abyss. But no, I'm actually quite chuffed with this track. I think it's come out really well. And considering this is his second track, by the way, I'm not sure if I mentioned that at the start of the video. I can't remember the name of the other track off the top of my head, but I think I downloaded it, spun a lap on it, and I was like, I can't do a video on this. It's not like content worthy enough, which might sound like a really horrible thing to say, but that kind of is my process of if I feel like I can comfortably sit down for 15 minutes spinning laps and have plenty to talk about, then that makes it content worthy in my eye, and I just couldn't do that on his other track. So to go from that to this is pretty nuts. I have no idea how you make such a massive leap in one track creation. I don't know if he's now going to be taking a break, because putting 100 hours into one track, I imagine, has probably taken quite a lot out of him. But he seemed quite excited, always asking a lot of questions in the Discord, and lots of people were being really helpful. And it's always nice to see people trying to elevate their track making game. It's better for them because they get to make more quality products, and then maybe end up on the store as well if they are putting out good stuff. It's good for us because we get more tracks, and it's good for me because I get some more content to show you guys. So thank you very much, Callum. I very much appreciate it, and hopefully you're happy that I'm covering this for you, and I look forward to seeing much more from you in the future, sir. Definitely keep using these decals as well. They're very pretty. And I always say I'm a massive fan of light decals on any track. The occasional bits of grass that we have dotted around the track is very bright, very green. I do like it. Should I turn the shaders off real quick? I mean, even with the shaders off, it doesn't look terrible by any means. I mean, I'm so used to everything being brighter now. Everything always looks dull in comparison. But I think that'll do it from me. Hopefully you guys can forgive me for scumbagging it and using tyres with a little bit more traction today. But I think it does this track so much more justice that way, and you can actually ride the track how it's meant to be ridden. I know obviously he's tested and built this track throughout beta 17, so has no idea of how it can be used, but I'm so excited for those OEMs to release as well. I wish, like, these boys, they've been so secretive. Like, I want a date. I want to know when I can just dedicate my life to grinding these bloody things out. And I mean, my girlfriend's coming down in like the second week of January, because it's my birthday around that time. So I'm hoping I'm not going to have all my time taken up by all that. I really wish I could just sit down and grind some beta 18 OEM videos out, do some comparisons, maybe cheeky little shootout videos, some first impressions. Oh, it's going to be so much fun. Right. That's going to do it from me. I think you guys get the idea. I've already spun like 6 laps around here. That didn't expect to go through them that quickly. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. As always, if you could drop a like if you did the video, I'd really appreciate it. It helps the channel grow more than you can ever know. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'm trying to hit 44,000 by the new year. We might have done it by the time you see this. Who knows? Or we're going to be very close at least. And have a lovely rest of the day, whatever you're up to. I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.